Thank you so much for having us here, for giving us your attention. And I'm really delighted to be here with these wonderful women achievers. So I'm going to do a short intro for you. Dr. Himangi Negi is a healthcare specialist and author, which is probably two of my favorite things. She has a practice in OB/GYN for more than 2.5 decades. We have with us Kanta Singh as well, who's the Deputy Director of UN Women. And again, more than 20 years of experience in this field of promoting women, finding out how women can be empowered. And we're going to be picking her brain a little bit on what can be done. And of course, we have Supriya Paul, who is the CEO of Josh Talks. And the number 20 features here as well. You were only 20 when you set up Josh Talks as well. So thank you all for being here. Yes. I think what's really interesting when we talk about women and the economy, and women and the economy in India, is that there are, of course, some startling statistics. There's a reality check I think everyone in this room and anyone watching would want to be aware when it comes to, let's say, the labor force participation. These numbers came out recently. It's early 30%, 32%. There are many challenges women have to overcome every single day to get to where they want to be. And it requires really solidarity, and it requires support from everyone across the spectrum to really allow women to hold up half the sky. Having said that, we're not going to be all gloom and doom. I want to ask all of these wonderful panelists a little bit about what's one thing they celebrate about women in India 2023 when it comes to propping up the economy. Supriya, let me start with you.
So I think during this time of the year, we get to read a lot of interesting stats because summaries keep coming up in Women's Week. And while most stats are on the negative, I read something extremely positive today, which is that within entrepreneurship, if you look at $1 invested in a startup led by a woman, the average net return is 78%. For every dollar spent, the return is 78%. But if you look at the same with respect to a male-led startup, it's 31%. So I think, you know, sometimes we talk about how women are frugal, etc., in a negative connotation, but actually in the startup economy right now, the contribution per dollar invested, sorry, is higher for women.
That's fantastic. That is really exciting, and I think that does help propel us forward. That's a huge narrative for India when we look at the startup economy. Kanta Singh, can I ask you a little bit about what you'd like to celebrate about women in this sphere? It's on, yeah, it's on.
Wonderful. Good morning, and morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I don't have just one thing. I have many things to celebrate about women in India. And I'll start with education. There are more girls in higher education than there ever were. There are more girls in STEM. There are more girls completing education. That gives me hope. I see women in every field today. There's not even a single field that we used to say women are not in combat arms, women are not in Air Force, they're not flying fighter aircrafts. There's not even a single field when women are not there. I feel happy when I see a domestic worker coming on bicycle even after she was beaten last night by her husband and she still have hope for her children. There must be something that is driving her there. I see a girl in Ladakh who's 8 years old walking 3 kilometers to go to the school. There's nothing that gives me despair. I really feel that we are there where we should be and we have a very bright future.
That's incredible. And something to celebrate, and also, of course, how far we've come. I think it's something that, you know, Supriya is alluding to. It's not just Women's Day or Women's Day week or Women's Day month, but it's every single day of the year. Dr. Negi, in the healthcare space, what would you like to focus on? Because, of course, we've just come out of this pandemic where everyone has realized the importance of women in healthcare.
It's on? You're able to. Hello, everybody. Actually, I want to celebrate so many things, not only one thing, as a gynecologist. Okay. Foremost important, I know the women, working women especially, are multitasker. They are superwomen, as we say. But being a gynecologist, I would like to add that I am more connected to the community. Fine. I go and teach girls, and I am more, I give my lectures, and I make them aware of the healthcare problems. So, since long we are dealing with women health problems, but since COVID, we had more increase, and we are doing online webinars also to connect with the women. So, you know, as a doctor, as a gynecologist, I would like to celebrate that I am connected to the community, and I am changing the mentality of girls, or else I am giving the health care advice to them. So that if Indian women are healthy, Indian girls are healthy, then India would be healthy. And then that is how I will also contribute to the economy. Other things which I like to celebrate as a gynecologist is the baby cry, is the first cry of the baby. That generally as a gynecologist, I'm saying, as a doctor, first cry of the baby and the happiness and the bundle of joy that I give to the pregnant woman after delivery. That I will be celebrating, but foremost I will be celebrating the youth, ladies and girls whom I give the knowledge and connection with the community.
No, that's fantastic. I think, when we talk about women in healthcare, we're talking about the Anganwadi workers, we're talking about the nurses,
Yes,
we're talking about the doctors.
Actually, I was enrolled in Pradhan Mantri Matritva, Safe Matritva Yojana, where we used to go on every 9th of every month, we used to go and render the services in rural areas, free of cost, every 9th of the month. Okay. So there were Anganwadi workers, there were hierarchical system in the PHC, Primary Health Center. So this was the type of connect we used to do free of cost.
Yeah.
So the level starts from there also. And then we start from the rural coming to the urban. Not only the rural, but the urban where I go and talk, like it can be MAT school. It is other school, international universities, or any IT firms. There I used to give the knowledge, about basic knowledge I used to share to girls and women.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that I feel that would be beneficial for Indian economy also, because healthy the women, they will be more concentrating on their work and take less leaves.
I think, and speaking of the knowledge economy, Supriya, to bring you in here, I think one thing we can also do is talk a little bit about misconceptions when it comes to women. Let's say women in the startup space, women entrepreneurs. You're really, propelling forward this sort of knowledge economy with the work that you're doing. Can you share some misconceptions you would like to bust?
I think the biggest misconception around women leaders in general, and that could be with reference to startup founders or otherwise, is that women usually tend to take decisions based on their emotional instinct. And I think that's absolutely incorrect, because, firstly, even if you are taking a decision on your emotional instinct, if we are propagating reading books by the CEO of, General Electric, which is straight from the gut, and saying that all your decisions should be taken by instinct, but when a woman is doing it, we are saying, okay, she was emotional about it. So I think that's one of the biggest things, and I've seen this whether it's in meetings within my team itself or with meetings with investors or outside, the perception always is that, okay, let's listen to the more practical one, so let's turn towards the male co-founder. When actually, that's not true. Women, like everyone else, take practical decisions. We tend to be more emotional, we tend to be more empathetic, but that's just one of our attributes. It doesn't, cloud our mind towards judgment and decision making. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions around women leaders today.
Yeah, agreed. And we've set up something called Tap In, which we're hoping to help tackle some of these misconceptions. Another one I feel is that when you say that soft skills are for women, or women have the soft skills and men don't, you're actually doing an injustice to both. You know what I mean? I think, especially as we look forward from 2023 onwards, it'd be great if looking at the economy, looking at who's powering the economy, you realize that leadership is a gender-neutral term. Kanta, can I ask you a little bit about this and misconceptions you'd like to bust?
Some of the things that we take on ourselves, saying women are more caring, women are multitaskers, women are this, and you said it rightly that we are putting extra burden on women by admitting those things. These are learned behaviors, and both men and women could be caring, both men and women could be multitaskers if they need to. I think that is something that also women trying to be super women, that they can handle everything. We should also learn to accept failure. We should also learn that I wasn't super here. I could only do justice to these things. And of course, there are some stereotypical things that we say women are not good at maths, women are not good at finance. And those things have kept us out of those domains where decisions are made about our lives. So I'm saying we need to be where the decisions are made about our lives. Whether this is health, whether this is finance, whether this is parliament, or whether this is the boardrooms. And those myths we need to start breaking. Wherever women are given an opportunity, they have proved that they are worthy of that seat and they can do wonders. We as women, and I'm not going to stereotype this as, and this is again a learned behavior, every leader has to start believing in constructive dialogue, constructive behavior, and not destruct anything. I'm not here to propose that we have to break any glass ceiling. We don't need to. Really, make a different world where we don't have to break anything, which is more peaceful, more joyful. And we as women have a responsibility to continue showing that that path is possible. So breaking myths every day, and women have proved that they can not only break myths, they can also show an alternate path which is more constructive.
So maybe raise the glass ceiling. Instead of break the glass ceiling, we could look at raising it.
Absolutely.
I think what's interesting about what you said is there's also studies that show that this is learned behavior, like you said. You know, if you don't tell girls that you're not good at maths, they're pretty good at maths, you know. So I think unlearning even as adults, unlearning in the startup and entrepreneurial space. And Dr. Negi, medicine is of course one of the, like, India's proudest and happiest professions. So it's fantastic to see women.
True. Thank you so much. Very true. And medical girls, especially being a gynecologist, I feel so proud of myself that I deliver babies. I give life to a baby, okay? So it is one of the proudest moments for me also. And when the patient expresses the gratitude, they say, "You are God." I say, "No, I'm not God, please. I'm a woman. I'm only a woman."
That's a good.
And I would like to add one misconception, should I? That there is a misconception that working women neglect their houses. They don't take care of their families well. This I have overheard, and this is the type of misconception which is very common nowadays. I will not agree to this. This is not so that working women neglect their children or neglect their husbands or houses, okay? They maintain work-life balance. And I would proudly say that they exceptionally take care of their children and home because they have less time for that, so they will give a quality time to that. Rather than giving only quantity time, they will give a good quality time for their children as well as husband also. For that, we need to maintain a work-life balance and we have to be very systematic in managing that. Sure. So this is really a misconception nowadays that girls, working women are not taking care of household things also.
So we just have a few minutes left. So final words from our illustrious panel. Dr. Negi, I'll start with you. One thing you're excited about in your industry for 2023?
2023, I am excited about robotic surgeries. As a gynecologist, robotic surgeries, we are now moving towards robotic surgeries. I am doing deliveries, that is normal deliveries or cesarean. That is a conventional type of treatment. Laparoscopy, yes, of course, we have moved from laparoscopy, from normal conventional open surgeries to laparoscopic surgeries. Advanced laparoscopic surgeries we are doing. So I am excited about doing robotic surgeries, which I've started also in my hospital and my clinic. I see the patients. That I've started. Fantastic. Robotic surgeries are common. And secondly, one important thing which boosts up the economy also is medical tourism. Fantastic. That is also very upcoming. So I'm excited about that.
Very, very high tech. I love it. Kanta Singh ji and then Supriya.
I'm again, not just one thing, but many things. One is that we are alive. We survived COVID. We are all sitting here and talking. That gives, there's a reason to be happy about that. I also feel that women are trying to be where they never were. Again, the same thing that. And 23 is going to be very exciting for all the women because now they have started realizing their power. And when I see young women talking about their issues and not feeling ashamed of that, what happens in Iran, what happens in Afghanistan, they're fighting every day. There's a reason why they're doing it. I think I'm very, very optimistic. I'm also hoping that war will end in Ukraine. There's nothing that I can do about that, but absolutely I'm hoping that women and girls will be able to come out of that 100%, safe.
100%. Supriya, bring us home. We have about 45 seconds, I think.
Perfect. So in my sector, which is traditionally education, we already have 31% women who are female founders in education. So I'm super excited about the fact that more learning outcomes are now going to be driven because we have more women participating in education. And I'm hopeful that conversations like this next year will have men representation on stage and will be an equal conversation and not a woman-only conversation.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you to our panelists, and thank you for your attention.